Now retired from teaching as a mathematics professor, Professor Alec Ingraham looks back on 37 years of his career doing something he loved. He was a familiar and beloved educator in the classrooms of Southern New Hampshire University in Manchester and chair of the mathematics department from 1984 to 2012. Though he is elected to leave the hallowed halls of learning behind, he still serves his home of North Billerica as the town historian, an honor that surprised even Professor Ingraham himself. He attributes his success to hard work, honesty, and fairness, a sentiment all the more poignant given his initial indecision on the topic of career. His family was full of academics, including several deans, but the path to academia was never set in stone. In fact, his own father, Chester Doane Ingraham, was also an educator. Professor Ingraham originally studied history with the University of Massachusetts in Boston, but after he took calculus as an elective, he was advised to change from history to mathematics as a course of study. After earning a Master of the Arts at the University of Massachusetts, Professor Ingraham found himself in the middle of the 1975 oil crisis, which impacted job prospects everywhere in America. For the long forest roads of New Hampshire and Massachusetts, the cutback in gasoline proved to be especially hard. However, Professor Ingraham was able to find work as a mathematics lecturer at Newbury College in Boston for 3 years. Ultimately, teaching became a rewarding profession for him. "Sometimes you don't understand those things when you're younger," he remarks of the transition. Professor Ingraham also recalls the common misunderstandings about his profession. "They think you have the whole summer off, and that's not true," he remembers, speaking about the assumptions people sometimes have. In fact, he worked hard during the summer to prepare coursework for the coming semester, often preparing the challenging curriculum for freshmen and sophomores to grasp the fundamentals of mathematics. As a mathematician, Professor Ingraham sometimes found difficulty with communicating complex concepts. His students might grasp a straightforward idea, but combining them into mathematical operations was the challenge. He also discovered that students had an affinity with annuity problems, but struggled with present value, which involves the more complex concept of envisioning the worth of a sum in the future. Professor Ingraham feels more can be done in this area of education. As chair of the mathematics department, his team often went over mathematical problems with colleagues in the English department. In the end, the topic of communicating mathematics effectively is still a work in progress in the field. One thing Professor Ingraham knows for sure is that students were always afraid of statistics. As for Professor Ingram's own education, he remembers being tone deaf with conversational French and had a lot of problems learning the language. For prospective students, he suggests taking advantage of the uniqueness of a university to encourage learning. "They don't always come to visit you with a problem so that you can help," he said of his students. Professor Ingraham reminds students that there is always someone at the university to help. He also advises that knowing something that seems useless now may in fact set someone apart and give them a leg up in the broader society. In support of education, Professor Ingraham was selected as the Massachusetts State Delegate of the American Math Association of two-year colleges in Memphis from 1993 to 2001. Highlights of Professor Ingram's career include chairing the Curriculum Committee in 1994 when South New Hampshire University established its first general education corps, being appointed to full-time professor in 1994, hitting a home run for the faculty women's softball team, and successfully obtaining a historical preservation grant to establish the Middlesex Canal Museum. He is a prolific, if modest, historian in the larger Billerica area and was named official town historian in 2015. Today, he still chairs the Billerica section of the Middlesex Candell Commission and the Billerica Historical Commission. In 2001, Professor Ingraham was presented with a Preservationist of the Year award from the Billerica Historical Society, where he was president from 1997 to 2000. In addition, he has served as a member of the Early American Industries Association, the New Hampshire Teachers of Mathematics, and the Mathematics Association of America. With the New England Mathematics Association of two-year colleges, he was a board member from 1998 to 2002 and sat as conference co-chair in 2002 and 2009. Now retired, Professor Ingraham enjoys the change in pace, but misses the challenge of teaching and the clear looks of understanding or befuddlement on students' faces. He finds he can do the little things again, such as going to the movies. Professor Ingraham is happy with the way his career worked out, though he might teach history if given the chance to do it all again. In his free time, he enjoys sports and collecting old tools.